ABBA was a force. ABBA was one of the very few exceptions that made it beyond those borders of the Iron Curtain. They even visited some of those countries. How did ABBA make it happen? How was it possible to go beyond those borders, especially as a band from Sweden? Today, we explore why. Hey. So, ABBA was active during the Cold War. Most American or English music was hard to be found in Eastern Europe or Eastern countries. Somehow, ABBA made it possible with their music. As a band from Sweden in the 1970s, it was already exceptional that they made it international across the borders of their very own country, but they even made it across the borders of that Iron Curtain. I'm currently reading the new book, The Story of ABBA, Melancholy Undercover by Jan Gradwal. Thank you to St. Martin's Press for publishing this book in the United States. I am having a blast going through every chapter of this new book. In the next few weeks, we will be diving into different topics surrounding the story of ABBA, inspired by this very book, and there will also be a full review about the book. Today our topic is ABBA Beyond Borders. In one of the chapters, ABBA's relationship with various different and politically difficult countries is explored, starting with Vietnam. That country has a strong affection for ABBA and their music, when virtually no other Western music was brought into the country. And there is one song that really stands out, which you wouldn't suspect if you didn't know. Vietnamese people of all ages know the song and its lyrics by heart, and that song is Happy New Year. How did ABBA make it to Vietnam? The book says the nation's love for ABBA is as big as it ever was. Vietnam had strong bonds with Sweden during and after the war, and Sweden brought ABBA's music with them. Vietnamese authorities were suspicious of Western and American pop culture, but made an exception for Swedish culture. Sweden was regarded as a trustworthy ally. The official acceptance of ABBA songs happened at a time when scarcity raged and there was very little to be celebrated in Vietnam. Cultural life was minimal, but ABBA's songs were there to remind them that there was a prosperous and optimistic world outside of Vietnam. And the song that represents these dreams better than any other is Happy New Year. I did a video once of my visit to Vietnam where I was so astonished and surprised to find ABBA big in just some random cafe on the street, across a picture of the Beatles. I was so stunned. Sweden's position as a neutral country, located between West and East, with a social democratic government and a globally engaged prime minister, made it possible for Eastern regimes to accept ABBA. The most respected pop bands besides ABBA are two disco groups formed in Germany, Boney M and Modern Talking. ABBA's first visit beyond the Iron Curtain was in 1974 in East Germany. And then there is the USSR and Poland. In 1976, ABBA visited Poland and they drew a lot of attention with their visit. It was unthinkable, but they made it possible. ABBA filmed an entire 1-hour television special for Polish TV. They even filmed an exclusive music video for SOS, with Agnieszka standing alone at the Triple Cross Square in Warsaw, Frida, Benny and Björn on the plane. The book quotes some YouTube comments. We Poles want to be free and democratic. We want to be part of a free world. In 1976, ABBA arrived in Poland, and it was for us some kind of a miracle. Thank you, ABBA, for the music, for the hope, and for the fresh wind of freedom. 1976. Poland froze. The streets were empty. Everyone watched ABBA. Even the USSR approved ABBA. ABBA topped the list of readers' newspapers, and their feature film ABBA the Movie played sold-out screenings at 22 cinemas in the Soviet Union. Today, a striking percentage of visitors for ABBA the Museum in Stockholm come from the formerly communist nations in Eastern Europe. People of Russia never stopped loving ABBA. In Moscow, ABBA was the most popular group at every dance party, and they even were the most popular pop group in Afghanistan. All these connections and more are detailed in the book. The chapter ends with a story of ABBA's Spanish album from 1980 and their conquest of Latin America. Chiquitita in Spanish reached #1 in 6 countries. ABBA's Spanish album is worth an entire video at some point in the future. Even the new documentary ABBA Against the Odds explores this subject very detailed and ABBA's relationships with other countries and just how they did it. Today's video is for you, for all people in those faraway countries where it was unthinkable for Western music to be that popular. So how did you experience it? How did you experience ABBA's visit to Poland in 1976? ABBA's music in the USSR, in Afghanistan, in Vietnam, in Russia today, and many more countries. All my greetings go out to all the nations in the world. Let me know your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Alright, until then, hey do!